What's up, y'all? Want to say good morning, and yeah, you guys sent me that Gene Deal thing the other day. I did see it with Art of Dialogue. Shout out to Art of Dialogue for what they did. The interview with Gene Deal. Um, Shouts out to Gene Deal. Do I agree with his assessment? I do not agree with that assessment. Uh, what he said. Now, in case for you guys who don't know or didn't hear about it, um, he spoke about the Tupac Quad City thing, saying that the title alludes to Puffy knew Tupac was gonna get it at the Quad Studios. I don't know if you saw that. I think that was in the title. So I said him and Andre Harrell knew Tupac was gonna get it, taken out at the Quad Studios and how it was put down. So I'm looking into the situation. And as I'm looking into the situation, I'm starting to not like what I'm seeing from the interview. Like, wow, it's amazing. Time goes on and things just change. So right away, the inaccuracies is what's, disturbing me because it's not making sense. And I don't know if Gene Deal was there. I don't know what he knows or what he don't know, but like I've been knowing for years what that went down from people who were there in different situations, and those stories haven't changed. But this is the first time I'm really hearing this. I mostly heard this in like fan theory, just some lifetime type of movie stuff, but well, after listening to Gene, let's assess what was actually he was saying. He was saying that, implying that Jimmy Henchman, Tupac owed Jimmy Henchman some money. Jimmy Henchman gave him a way to work off the money by doing a song with Little Sean, right? Two, he claimed Puffy was in the studio with Andre Harrell, and he brought him there as a witness, as he was there to spy on Biggie to make sure he didn't catch him writing for Junior Mafia. Right? This was the situation. Now, here's what we know. Junior Mafia is in a studio at Quad Studios up at the top. There's about 5 studios, and I don't know how many different floors in the Quad Studio. Now, it is very possible you could be in the studio and not know who in the world else is in the building. You could be in the studio at the same time as somebody nobody know. This has happened all the time. Jay-Z was recording in Quad Studio before, and nobody even knew. And there was some other artists up there on the top. I know Jay-Z was there, and a lot of people was there. This is Blueprint 2 time. But I knew Jay-Z was in there recording, and he wasn't in baseline because I knew people who were there. Now, let's take this first part. Because he said Tupac got shot because he had gotten out of line and all these things, and they was just supposed to rob him. But everybody knows that it was just supposed to be a robbery, and Tupac made an action to turn it into something else. Um, what else could we add to this? Well, we'll get to the Andre Harrell Puffy knowing about Tupac situation. And Junior Mafia saying they didn't even know Puffy was there, which is true. That is true. Puffy did not come up to that session at all. They didn't even know Puff was there. They didn't even understand what was going on. Now, here's the scenario. The floor Pac was coming up to wasn't the floor Biggie and them was on. Biggie and Junior Mafia was on a whole nother floor. They were recording. Puff probably did come down there to spy on them, or whatever you want to call it. But Puff was on his own floor hanging out with Andre Harrell. They was on that floor with Lil Sean. Like they was finna do a song with Lil Sean or whatever, or produce that and whatever. But Diddy's down there at the studio hanging out. And they said, oh, he knew what was supposed to go on with Tupac. That's bizarre because they weren't involved. Let me go to the first part. He owed Jimmy Henchman money. And was not the case. Okay? Here's the situation, cut and dried. How would Tupac owe Jimmy Henchman? And why would he owe Jimmy? When he was, the reason why Pac was there is because he was filming a movie. That's why he was out in New York City. He had did 2 movies almost back to back. He had did Bullet, and then he did Above the Rim, and he did a film called Bullet. Then, while he took the advance money that he got, he had that. And when he was hanging about, he was hanging around with Haitian Jack. Jack was paying for everything. Jack was buying, and Pac ain't had to pay for nothing. He gave Pac Rolex. Dog, Jack was making sure he was straight. He was good. What would he owe Haitian Jack? I mean Jimmy Henchman for? Now Jimmy and Jack, like that's like they boys, like that's his guy. They had love for Pac. They actually genuinely did. Now, when the whole situation happened with the girl at the hotel, Pac got out. He had went to a nightclub. Right after kicking it at the club, he's leaving the club. He runs into this white guy who's a reporter from the Daily News, the New York Daily News newspaper. And he's there trying to get a comment from Tupac. He's a beat writer. And Tupac was heated about what happened. And he went off talking about what happened and how it was a setup and how these drug dealers from New York got rappers under extortion and they extorting people and he's naming names. This goes out in the Daily News. They have been trying to reach Pac because he was mad that Jack trial was separated from Tupac's case. And he's like, how his trial separated? We Codees. So immediately his reaction was epic proportions. It was epic proportions. So a plan was put in place to where he would show up and get jacked, basically, and get robbed to, teach him a lesson, to humble him, to let him know, like, you could be touched. So this robbery happens. We all know about it. Tupac tried to grab a pistol, and then it elevated to shots being fired. Right? Little C's come down on the elevator because he saw what's his name smoking a blunt on that outside. He was on the outside hanging off the because they was on the top floor, and he looked down and he see Pac, and he was like, "Yo, Big up in here, come up here." They don't even know Puffy's even there or what time Puff even got there. Puff never came to their floor, so they don't know he's there. After Pac is hit, he goes up to the floor where he was supposed to be. He got on the elevator and went up to where he was supposed to go. And they opened the door and Tupac was like, they act like they saw a ghost. And they're like, yeah, we did. I mean, Puffy's grabbing towels, they grabbing everything, ice. This dude is shot. He tried to go to the bathroom to pee, and he's seeing like gunpowder everywhere in his growing area. And he's just like, oh man, like this is a mess. So it was a bad situation. He came and sat back down. Andre Harrell is helping him. Puffy is helping him. They called 911 to get him some help. And if these people wanted Tupac hurt, Tupac wasn't telling them to call the ambulance. They could have let him sat there and bleed out. They could have anything. They wanted to help this man as much as possible. They were shocked because they didn't understand it. They didn't know what was going on. Biggie and them come down and actually get arrested. Well, they got, grabbed up, scooped up, moved to the side, and they checking all them on the wall because they came off the elevator. Tupac see all of them getting lined up, hemmed up, thrown on the wall. He think they're all in on it, or at least had some parts to do with it, because they all boys. Pac don't know who's all involved, who ain't. So in his mind, everybody guilty. He didn't like the way his team was moving, like they was all in on it. He felt like he was not protected. He the only one that's going to jail. It's a lot of stress, a lot of paranoia. So that's the difference. But I don't understand where this loan from Jimmy come from. I truly don't. I don't know where that came from. That he owed Jimmy money. So wherever that narrative came from, they can keep it. Because I've never seen or never heard of Jimmy loaning Tupac money and he owed him back. And he gave him a way to work it off. I've never heard that story. Pac was getting paid. First, they wanted him to record the song, and Pac's like, well, I'm going to need at least 5 G's. And they agreed to it right away. Pac was setting his own price. He was like, I'm going to need 5 G's. If I'm going to do this, I'm going to need 5 G's for it. And he was like, all right, you got it. And he was like, all right. So he agreed to do it for 5 G's. And that was it. So I don't know what I don't know. You guys asked me yesterday. No disrespect to Gene Deal. No disrespect to Outer Dialogue. I just have no understanding of idea of where that came from. That's what I said. I just don't agree with it. Don't agree with it at all, bro. I'm gonna tell you like this. I was not there, but I have heard from many people who were there. For each situation I spoke. And let's get to the Andre Harrell situation. Andre Harrell didn't really like Tupac and Puffy didn't either. He said that. That is not true. That is not true at all. Because if Andre Harrell didn't like Tupac, Tupac wouldn't have been in that studio that night. Andre Harrell ran Quad Studios, basically. Are you kidding me? He was running music and television. He had New York Undercover. Tupac wanted to get on that show. And everybody was scared of Tupac at the time. They heard about all the stuff that went down, with the legal situation. So they was nervous about even having him on the set. Andre Harrell approved for that to happen, and Malik Yoba brought him on the set. And he was like, man, I met Tupac. He loved Pac. Pac came and saw him, and he explained the situation. He explained that he was being extorted by the driver of the limo, and the living color situation, the whole thing. He ran it down to Andre Harrell, and Andre said, "All right, well, cool." He's like, "Well, let me run it by the execs, and I'll get you on the show, and then you can just stay here and do the show." It was not a problem. He was going to get him on the show and talk to the execs and see if he can get him on New York Undercover. He was like, look, I will set it up, but you can go in there and actually talk to him. So, you could talk to him. But he loved Tupac. He really had no discord with him whatsoever. It was everybody else who didn't want Tupac even around. And he was like, nah, bring this dude around, because he knew, like, man, this dude can act. This dude did poetic justice and did all that, man. Like, this dude's talented. Like, I can have him on television or anything else. Like, that's going to help the show. So, oh yeah, they was going to get Tupac for cheap and have him on New York Undercover. You think Andre Harrell wanted Tupac? Oh, they knew they was going to get Tupac. No, he wanted Tupac on New York Undercover. So why would he be involved in that? That's what I'm saying. These things just don't make sense. It don't make any sense. So what you know factually and what you know with this story here just blew my mind. I was just like, I was listening to it. I'm like, I can't even believe what I'm hearing. Puffy not liking Tupac? It's not true. Puffy had love for Tupac, but he wasn't worried about Biggie going over to Thug Life and all that. Pac finna take Biggie from him because Pac is from L.A. Pac really don't have his label together. You know, he's doing his thing, but Pac is all over the place. There's no stability there. Puff already know I got Big. Like, no. But Big was entertaining anything that was gonna bring him money because he was doing all this, but ain't have any money coming in from the hip hop thing yet. So he was on some, man, it's whatever. Whoever, got the bag and talking about paying, I'm with it. So yeah, if Pac wanna have me on his Thug Life and put me in there, I'm cool. But Puff never shown no disdain for Tupac like that. Pac was helping them out. Pac would bring them on the show and let them do their song. And when he doing his show, he was telling the truth. He gave them all the love and support. They never had a problem with Tupac. That was a lie. His problem with Tupac existed when Tupac started blaming them for the shooting, blaming them with their involvement, and he knew that was a lie. They had nothing to do with the Quad City, anything with Tupac, and Tupac even knew it. But he kept that lie going because they didn't give him any support while he was locked up. That's all. He wanted to destroy everything they built while he was gone. Basically saying, using my name, my reputation, everything, like, yo, stay up Tupac, yo, I'm Pac's boy. And while he's just in there, they giving him no money, no support, nothing on his books. But y'all just gonna do him like that. So that became the narrative. That became the, okay, when I get out of here, I'm coming back for the spot. Because Biggie came to the top of hip hop while he was gone. If Biggie wasn't successful, Pac wouldn't have cared. Not about Big. Because Big ain't did nothing to him. So the fact that he was at the top of the hip hop charts, number one artist in the world is Biggie Smalls while Pac was gone. So you figure that one out. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comment section. No disrespect to anybody. I just don't agree with that assessment. So I want to say thank you to everybody who hit the Cash App up, donated to the Cash App. Appreciate it. Loved every last one of the messages y'all put in the comment section in the last video. We did. People riding with Kyrie. As I told people before, I'm not supporting the Brooklyn Nets as long as Kyrie Irving isn't there. I'm not supporting Nike why Kyrie Irving isn't there. It's like we are doing. It's time to start putting some, circling the wagons and stuff. We got to go into action. We got to start doing it the right way. So we got to move in that way accordingly. So to everybody out there, God bless. It's your boy Carcino. Thank you again. I'm appreciative. Good night.